Another 9/11? That's the focus of tonight's Angle. Now, you wouldn't think that our president or his cabinet would ever forget what America endured on September 11th, 2001. All the death, the loss, the destruction took only 19 hijackers.
Get my back, get my back, get my back.
And they were here right under our noses, taking flying lessons, lax visa policies, national complacency, and of course the rest is a tragic history. We let our guard down, and it triggered the longest war in American history. Well, have we learned? Well, the Biden administration clearly has not. Because protecting America first was never this administration's priority. Their sole priority was and is to facilitate a mass influx of individuals from around the world into our own America in order to change America. And if Border Patrol, by the way, tries to stop migrants from crossing, they're terminated.
What do you think, this executive order, is that going to do anything?
Well, it only took him, what, 3 years and 7 months? It was his job to do, take pride, secure the border. We didn't have to babysit.
Does it frustrate you when you hear that, when you hear the narrative, like, why aren't Border Patrol doing anything? And
Our hands are tied. If I don't allow them to cross and they call and complain, now I'm in trouble. Now I'm going to lose my job.
They're going to lose their jobs if they do their jobs. How twisted is that? Now, overseen by Alejandro Mayorkas, millions from countries near and far were given these meaningless, credible fear screenings, all coached, by the way, before they got there to sound as empathetic as possible.
he said that they've been getting a lot of threats, and they said it was for the reason of the elections. They didn't vote for, as they put it, the candidate who ended up winning.
Notices to appear for their hearings years in the future. Then they're helped by government-funded NGOs with free bus and plane tickets. And presto, they're on their way to their new home in the United States. Now, Americans are now on the hook for untold billions. We'll never know how much it really costs, and that'll never stop. We'll never stop paying until each and every last one of them is deported. And even worse, some of our fellow citizens have been murdered. Others have been raped, assaulted, and robbed by illegals. Children have been abused. Drugs have been brought in and sold. And now we know that terror groups are penetrating our border as well. The FBI has arrested 8 men who had crossed the border, all with ties to ISIS. They're from Tajikistan, a Russian republic. And these men have been living in the United States for some period of time. We have few specifics, but ICE officials are saying that there were no red flags about these individuals at their points of entry. What? The red flag is this: Tajikistan. It's a known recruitment magnet for ISIS. In fact, the terrorists who killed 137 charged in that horrific attack on the Moscow Ballet, they were citizens from Tajikistan. Only last Sunday, undoubtedly to soften that blow when this news came out, the Biden administration let it leak that they were beginning to turn away migrants from 6 specific countries, including Tajikistan. Now, this is a classic CYA move, and not the first time they pulled this stunt. After an Afghan migrant was on the terror watch list and he was waved in, then arrested, then released again into the United States, the Biden DHS announced that it had plugged a loophole in their border policy. It's a total travesty. And by the way, Biden's current catch and release policy still allows migrants access to the United States from more than 100 other countries. Now, how many times have we reported that these people coming across the border are young men of military age, overwhelmingly? And Democrats literally never cared. They only care when it embarrasses them politically. So there's no telling what kind of information the government is sitting on about these men and other potential terrorists. Can you imagine? Now, it's inevitable that people are going to be killed in the United States. But again, Democrats do not care. They always knew, didn't they, that a certain percentage of these millions of migrants were going to include hardened criminals and even ISIS cell members. But they kept paroling them into the country anyway. They even ignored their own FBI director's warnings.
Increasingly concerning is the potential for a coordinated attack here in the homeland, not unlike the ISIS-K attack we saw at the Russia concert hall back in March. When I sat here last year, I walked through how we were already in a heightened threat environment. And since then, we've seen the threat from foreign terrorists rise to a whole nother level.
Of course, Democrats aren't going to do anything to change that or, respond to that. Even Politico noticed the Biden administration's utter lack of transparency here, lying that that were very clear about policies that impact American security and foreign policy.
The president is clear about where he stands. He believes we are a nation of immigrants and a nation of laws.
As we made clear,
President Biden has consistently been clear.
We have been very clear about Israel has the right to defend itself.
We've made clear that's a trend that should be a great concern of anyone.
We've made it very clear that freedom beats in the heart of every terrorist. While true to form, the Biden team is keeping information about these 8 suspects secret, just like they did regarding the Jordanians recently found at the front gate of Quantico Marine Corps Base. All we can conclude from this is that the facts must be very damaging. So going forward, there's no negotiating with the Democrats on this. There's no trying to convince them to change course. We just need to beat them by a lot. And that's the angle.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.